We talked a little bit about the weakness on the world stage, and we see it every single day with an absent president and administration, and especially with the aggression with China. So can you just talk a little bit more, Vice President, about how that's impacted and continues to impact our national security? And again, just, you know, what do we need to do turn that around? And what we're seeing at the southern border, as you talked about, is a big piece of that.
Look, President Joe Biden has weakened this country at home and abroad. And that disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan has emboldened the enemies of freedom around the world. As your vice president, I had the privilege to travel around the world. I've met many of these leaders. I've been to many of these countries. And I know in my heart of hearts the reason why Russia never even tried to redraw international lines by force under our administration, the only time in the 21st century, is because they saw the way we were building up our military. They saw the way that we unleashed our armed forces to take down ISIS. They saw the way we sent those cruise missiles into Syria when they used chemical weapons on innocent civilians. And they saw us take down the most dangerous terrorist in the world, Qasem Soleimani. It was a credible threat of the use of force and a strong military in the United States. It kept the world a whole lot more quiet in our 4 years than it is right now. But the truth is, I really do believe that withdrawal from Afghanistan under President Biden never would have happened if we'd still been in office. But it was a disgrace. But I want to say to anybody here who wore the uniform of the United States, especially those that served in Afghanistan, nothing of that disastrous withdrawal will ever diminish the honor and gratitude that is owed to men and women that served in Afghanistan over the last 20 years defending our country. But I have to tell you that it gets a little personal with us about what happened in Afghanistan. Karen and I we're Marine Corps parents. That's what we're awful proud of, our boy and his wife and their girls. So when Humberto Sanchez, one of the 13 that fell at the Kabul airport, came home, along with 12 other American heroes, we drove up to Logansport, Indiana to go and just be with their family, to pray with them, encourage them. And I have to tell you, those of you that worry about the future of this country, you need to hear Humberto's story. Humberto actually didn't get to walk across the stage, his mom told me, at Logansport High School because he had a little bit of trouble in high school. He had to finish in summer school. But a little bit after he finished high school, he apparently found his mom, and he said, "Look, I want to make you proud. I'm going to go be a Marine." And by all accounts, Humberto became a Marine's Marine, deeply respected by all his fellow Marines. He came to that day where he was manning one of those gates at the Kabul airport, Governor. And the word came out that somebody had gotten past the outside wire, somebody that looked dangerous. And the word went down through the radios that everybody was to pull back, get inside the wall. And Humberto refused. His mom and his fellow Marines said that Humberto said, "Most of the people in the line at my gate are women and children, and I got to get them through. I got to get as many through as I can." And by all accounts, he took the brunt of the blast. His mother looked at me with tears in her eyes as Karen and I gathered with her and said, his last act on earth was a work of heart. So despite the weakness of this administration that's emboldened the enemies of freedom, I'm going to tell you what, Humberto Sanchez is America. This is a great nation, and we will stand in the gap, and we will bring this country back with his inspiration in our hearts.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So